This video was sponsored by Scentbird. In today's fast-paced, AI-led world, it can be a bit difficult to tell the difference between human and machine. With AI tools able to make scripts for absolutely free within seconds, voiceover deepfakes becoming more and more accessible, it seems like it's never been easier for massive corporations and normal people alike to start tens, hundreds, even thousands of channels and take money out of my pocket. Content farms were a thing on YouTube from the second you could monetize your videos on this website. Corporations realized that there's a pretty easy system to game over here, if you have access to money, of course. But now, it's more accessible than ever. It's a field with barely any risk and a lot of reward. It seems like soon, the job of the most salt of the earth workers out there, YouTubers, might become replaceable, automated. This is a notion, a fear I've seen pop up more and more recently by content creators and people in real life alike. One of the reasons for the writer's strike happening in America right now comes from a demand to ban these quote, plagiarism machines. I remember when Kwebbelkop, the GTA 5 Funny Moments YouTuber, tweeted out, "It's game over for content creators, it's game over for anyone with a job, it's all gonna be done by AI soon, time to retire, AI is inevitable." I replied to the tweet with, if you feel like the things you make have so little life to them that they might as well have been made by a robot, maybe retirement is fine. But I do think that that's a bit mean. While I do disagree with the guy, I don't think that this is a notion that should be completely dismissed. The reality of things is, we're not going back. These AI tools are gonna become more and more advanced. People who want to make easy money will use it to infiltrate the world of art, as this thing is more able to replicate humans and human content. And at a time like that, I think it's important to stop and think for a second, to learn how to tell the difference between human and machine, between what has a soul and what doesn't. I heard about the concept of content farms a few years ago from a YouTuber friend of mine who told me about how he started a bunch of these channels and is now making a lot of money. And while yes, I immediately thought about how empty and soulless that sounds, I can't lie. For 19-year-old me, who had enough money in his bank account to buy like 4 burgers, this did sound pretty intriguing. I wasn't above the sin of greed. But because of that, I couldn't really afford, and I also didn't really feel like starting a content farm myself. This doesn't seem to be a problem anymore, as now every time I go on Twitter, I see more and more of these goddamn YouTube gurus. Some of them are like 16, bragging about how they're running 20 faceless channels. You can essentially find all these people by just looking up the term faceless channel on Twitter. This dude that I found makes daily threads on Twitter explaining how to make one of your own robot channels. Last month, I earned $64,000 on YouTube without showing my face or doing any work. Yeah, wouldn't really want to do that, would we? At some point in the thread, he says that you gotta prioritize quality over quantity. A really funny point to make, coming from a guy running 20 YouTube channels. Prioritize video quality over quantity. This faceless basketball channel here is making, how much? $50K a month. Their secret, ultra high quality videos about a ball. Just one ball. Quality is when you make 2 videos about a ball, not multiple balls, because I guess then there would be too much quantity of balls. I skimmed through the 2 videos, and you know, they're fine. It's essentially just like a Watch Mojo video, but like about a ball.
The NBA revealed this brand new basketball that they're working on, and it is actually super cool, and there's so many things I like about it. However,
I guess that by ultra high quality, they mainly mean not garbage enough for you to notice. It's essentially just something that, I don't know, you watch on the toilet, and then you're like, oh, that's a pretty interesting information about a ball. And yeah, you get up and move on with your day, and you forget to flush because you're too invested fighting against Kwebbelkop on Twitter. What's really funny though is the fact that it doesn't even take him 3 tweets later down the thread to say that actually what you really gotta do is double down and release 3 goddamn videos in a day. Which one is it, Mr. Guru? What do you even know? You know, this is the sort of guy that probably knows nothing about fragrances. Unlike today's sponsor, Scentbird. I'm a big cologne wearing guy, but sometimes I want to try a bunch of different scents and kind of switch things up, which can get pretty expensive. Scentbird essentially solves that problem with you with their subscription service. I really like Véronique Gabay's Sur la Plage. It smells really nice. It smells like flowers and stuff like that. Nautica's Voyage has more of like a crisp, woody undertone to it, which is really lovely. This is my personal favorite one, Parfum de Marly's Haltan. When I was in the subway in New York and I was wearing it, a lady came up to me and like asked me about it. She was so impressed by how nice I smelled. It has this sweet kind of smell that contrasts the more earthy feeling that it has. You get 1 or more designer fragrance a month for just $17 before you decide to commit to a full-size bottle, with a variety of over 600 designer brands like Gucci and Prada and indie brands as well. Click the link in the description for 55% off your first month, which ends up being just $8. Looking at this thread, I couldn't help but wonder if maybe there's something I'm missing here. Maybe it is actually possible to create 3 high-quality videos in one day. So I put my presumptions aside for just a second, and I watched one of these videos.
This video delves into the world of dangerous animals that are kept as pets, shedding light on the risks associated with owning these creatures. From slithering snakes to majestic big cats, the following list explores 20 of the most hazardous animals that people have welcomed into their homes, despite the potential for harm.
This made me feel like I'm dying. That is weird, isn't it? This channel has 296,000 subscribers, almost the same amount of subs that I have. 22,000 views. So my question is, what kind of person do you need to be to watch the entirety of this 25-minute long video and at the end of it be like, wow, this was really good stuff?
Venomous snakes, such as rattlesnakes, cobras, and vipers, are incredibly dangerous pets.
Oh, man, I gotta subscribe to this. I can't wait for the other 2 videos that are gonna come out today from Top Discovery. My hands are already shaking from the Top Discovery withdrawal. Let's look at these comments. Very well said. First a comment. Laughing emoji. What was funny about this? This video is like about people being attacked by animals. Come on, you lovely people. Don't be so stingy with the like button. Yeah, right, you plant. These animals should never be allowed to be kept as pets. Simple. The most dangerous animal is the one that believes they can tame a wild animal. Over and over, turns out poorly for the idealistic handlers. This is a video made by a robot, written by ChatGPT, read out to you by a robot. One thing that really caught my attention though was the first tweet. Find a profitable niche. There are plenty of niches that you can get into. Some examples are movie recaps, sports news, AI analyst, entertainment trends, financial info curator. I want you to remember this list as you go on YouTube. A lot of channels that you see talking about these topics, videos that you may get recommended, are just run by AI. And besides clicking on the video and actually putting yourself through the miserable experience of watching it, one of the best ways to tell is just by looking at the channel's name, because they're usually, they suck. The channel that we just watched is called Top Discovery. The basketball channel that made videos about ball is called Basketball Club. Yeah, that's right. That's an ultra high quality name right there. No fun is allowed with these names. They have to be the most miserable and generic thing that you can ever think about. It's almost as if someone who runs so many channels just went to an AI chatbot and asked for it to come up with a bunch of names for their channels. You know, something along the lines of Hoops Haven, the basketball channel, Dribble Daily, B-Ball Breakdown, and the Dunk Zone. I think that's my favorite, the Dunk Zone. Honestly, the amount of times I've seen a video about one of the topics listed in the original tweet only to find out that I'm listening to a robot is kind of insane. About a month ago, a video titled, "Why Do Short Films Look Like That?" popped into my recommended. A topic that was almost made in a lab to intrigue me. I've always been interested in the question of why do short films look like that? Since birth, the first words that I've ever said to my parents were, "Why do short films look like that?" I clicked on the video, and it was then that I went through one of the most mind-numbing experiences of my life.
Why do short films have that distinct look? Well, grab some popcorn and let's find out together. Let's take a moment to understand the nature of short films and the context in which they are created. A short film is a brief, self-contained film, typically under 40 minutes in length.
I know what a short film is. Jesus Christ. It's a very self-explanatory term, a short film. It's a film that is short, for crying out loud. I'm embarrassed to say that it took me almost a full minute of me watching this video before I realized that this was like a text-to-speech sort of thing. And may I remind you, I make a living on the internet. I'm not like a grandma or something. The thing that really did it for me is their pronunciation of the word genre.
It can span any genre.
Ooh, such an exotic accent.
Any genre.
Ooh, genre. This human replica shares some more fascinating details for us, like how, and you might want to sit down for this one, feature films are kind of like short films, but longer.
Feature film is a full-length movie, usually running between 90 to 180 minutes. These films typically have larger budgets, more extensive production crews, and a longer production schedule.
What was really depressing about watching this is that it made me feel really dumb for being even curious about this question that they presented in the first place. The longer it took this robot to say that amateur short films are different because they just have a less professional budget, the more that feeling persisted. But you know what? I don't think that's deserved. I don't think that I deserve to feel like that. A person who actually knows their stuff could have given me an interesting answer to this question, I feel like. They could have gone into the details that matter, but instead, for 7 minutes of the video, I had to hear mind-blowing facts like...
The real reason behind the distinct look of short films is the lack of experience that often comes with amateur filmmakers.
Oh, amateur filmmakers have less experience than professional filmmakers. A baby could have given you that fact. It's only at about the 7-minute mark that they actually start going into some interesting details about the intentional color choices, about how Damien Chazelle took a lot of inspiration from 70s movies like The Godfather, for example. The video is 12 minutes long, so at this point, I mean, we're almost done. They had to fluff this thing with 7 minutes of gobbledygook. The real kicker, the true punchline to this prank that's being played on you, is that you watch this whole thing, and you really feel like, you know, it has the consistent tone of like an infomercial, and that's because it is. This whole video is just a commercial to some color correcting course. I'm not gonna show the name of this channel or of the color correcting course because I'm not happy about how I was deceived like that. It's an ad that you just watched in your free time like a fool, and the joke enhances itself the second you scroll down and you see that this ad that you watched for 13 minutes has 650,000 views. I think that my main mistake when reading Kwebbelkop's tweet was thinking that this is something that he fears in a way. You know, it's game over for content creators, it's game over for anyone with a job. It's all gonna be done by AI soon. Time to retire. AI is inevitable. These are words that have so much weight to them. The way I was looking at this tweet originally was, you know, there's this man who's been on YouTube for over a decade, and he's now seeing this new development in technology, something that can make content in an instant, and fears that his job has become obsolete. Other tweets posted by him gave a similar sort of grave tone. People don't understand. Enjoy this moment while it lasts. The final pure version of the internet. But as you keep reading, you realize that this is actually something that he's kind of happy about. Why are we so fucked? Before the end of the year, creating software is gonna be as easy as sending a text message. Have a good idea for a business, create and launch it within minutes. Have a funny video idea, a good movie idea. Heck, maybe you want to write a book. Just build it. It'll take you 30 seconds. I can't really relate to this. I'm sorry. What's exciting about the idea of creating a book in 30 seconds? Something that, besides the general idea, the prompt that you gave it, has nothing to do with your mind, the things that you want to express. A movie or a book that were made within 30 seconds don't have worth. I don't think that they do. That's not art. That's just a product, something to make money off of, and that's it. In an interview, Yordi said that one of the exciting things for him about AI-controlled influencers is the fact that they can never get cancelled.
Bondandusa thinks a major reason behind the virtual influencer hype is their ability to be scandal-free, unlike their human counterparts. To the delight of PR companies and brands looking for influencer partnerships, virtual influencers cannot be cancelled.
And I think that's a reflection of a more general attitude that people have over, things that they watch. Some of them just want it to be less human. I think that from the simple fact that you're a person in a YouTube video, there's already something in that process that dehumanizes whoever you're watching. That's why some people feel really comfortable with being really mean to me in my comment section, as if I don't read that, and I have feelings. I'm a little guy. I think that statement, it satisfies that sort of need for apathy. You now get to consume this plastic piece of shit thing that never messes up, something that was literally built to just please you as a viewer. And I think there's something kind of pleasing about that idea. Quabblecop said that he has been running his main channel as a content farm essentially for the past few years. He said that he's surrounded himself with a team of people to think of the ideas, to manage everything that's happening, to think of titles, thumbnails, edit the whole thing, so he can essentially spend less than an hour a day on what he makes and get 100 million views a month. It's a factory that's made to make money, and if we're putting things into perspective here, it is what it is. There are worse ways to make money out there, I guess. And now that he's been presented with a tool to make that entire process a lot more cheaper and manageable and, more perfect, he's absolutely stoked. Quabblecop has said in an interview that he's now in the process of starting a whole group of virtual influencers assisted by AI. He already started one called Blue. The channel has over 600,000 subscribers, and it makes videos for kids. I think watching one of these videos gives a pretty good idea into what Quabblecop views as acceptable content.
I'm growing Nab Nab into the tallest Nab Nab ever. And to do that, I'll need the help of my Ban friends.
We'll only give it to you if you make the loudest burp ever.
The loudest burp? I can do that, but I need to drink some soda. And there's some soda right here. Glug, 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 glug. Oh, I can feel the bubbles. I'm gonna burp.
This is the future of content, guys. AI is inevitable. In the future, we're all gonna be coming back from work and, we're gonna sit down just to tune in to a new episode of whatever this nonsense is.
Oh my god, that's the loudest burp ever!
You liked it? Then give me that Nab Nab candy right now.
What in God's name is a Nab Nab? What is a Nab Nab? I don't... what? Is this something that, kids actually watch?
That's Captain Fiddles. He's gotta have a Nab Nab candy, right?
I left my candies in the maze.
These are just... That's just a collection of nonsense words. This can't be made in 18 seconds. I've been watching it for 5 minutes. What have you been watching? They're just saying Nab Nab a bunch of times. I don't think that in a world where everyone is able to make content in 30 seconds, people are actually going to be sitting down to watch this nab-nab goddamn nonsense. I think that there will always be a demand for things that are a bit more authentic, and I was really interested in seeing that idea through. For the sake of this video and this video only, I decided to become one of them, a robot, a replica. I decided to become evil. Pinely. I decided to use my second channel, Evil Pinely. I turned Evil Pinely into a content farm for 1 week of daily uploads, where I post video essays, is what I meant. Similar to the other niches we mentioned, video essays are a field ripe for takeover from these factory-made videos. And I figured that my second channel would be a pretty decent place to figure out how that goes. While I have expressed my disdain for YouTubers who brag about how much money they make, I'm gonna have to put my own rule aside for just this moment, as I reveal to you that during the month before this experiment, I have made a total mind-blowing sum of 11. I made $11 in a month. This is probably because I only posted one video that month, and it was really bad. My mere mortal, not AI adjusted body could not really produce more than that. This was gonna change because throughout this week, I decided to automize myself further and further from video to video. And who knows, maybe at the end of it, I could make $12. The first video I made about how Dream ruined his career with one TikTok was fully scripted by me. I also edited the whole thing. This was made about a month and a half ago, at the time that you're gonna see this. And at that point, I was very early in this little series that I'm doing right now. I was young, I was sexy, I was feeling myself, and I thought that it would be fine to do the whole thing myself. Dream's former 200 million view months have declined by over 80%. That is nearly 100. It was very interesting to see the difference between how people reacted to the videos that I made and the ones that had like some sort of AI involvement. The video almost has 80,000 views now. It did a lot better than anything else I released. It reached a wider audience of people, which could have been affected by the fact that I promoted it under a video with 1.3 million views. But I'm gonna ignore that because another video that I fully made was the next one, the Sneeko video. Sneeko may just be one of the most famous and well-known cuts of all time, which also reached a wider audience. I'm honestly sick of people making fun of Sneeko for being a It's really gross. Just because you don't like someone doesn't give you the right to bully them about shit that isn't fair. Wait, he's like a Nazi. People had something to like respond to interact with, to comment about. And you don't really get that with a ChatGPT video. You know, it's just like a series of facts, usually. My videos, on the other hand, are a series of lies and weird claims about North Carolina, which made people pretty mad. In the next video that I posted, I decided that I couldn't do this anymore. I couldn't write another one of these scripts with a line that's something along the lines of, the house was... The kid went to the house, which was very house-shaped. I was gonna go insane. I was gonna genuinely go insane. I had my brother, one of my little brothers edit that one instead of me. The first video I made in that way is the one about Moist Critical. Half of it is scripted by ChatGPT. Charlie White, better known as Moist Critical or simply Critical, is a popular YouTuber and online personality. After that, I went into my first fully AI scripted, joyless pile of shit video. I didn't really enjoy recording it, if I'm honest, but at least that's all I really had to do in the process of making it. It's a video about 3 old school YouTubers who mysteriously disappeared. The sort of catch of it, though, is that all of the YouTubers make videos about farts and poop. Number 2, Next in line, we have a poop guru known as the Pooptastic Pooper. The Pooptastic Pooper had a... The reason I did that is mainly because ChatGPT has a very hard time coming up with jokes that humans find funny. But farts and poops are universally funny, so that's okay. At one point, I asked it to give me a funny outro for a channel called Evil Pinely. If this actually makes you laugh as I'm saying it, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I'll make sure to block you from my channel. If you're looking... I gotta block myself for laughing. If you're looking for a channel that's just as evil as it is piney, look no further than Evil Pinely. From diabolical DIY projects to devilish cooking tutorials, this channel has something for everyone who loves a good laugh and a healthy dose of wickedness. So be sure to like and subscribe to Evil Pinely. Who knows, with your support, maybe they'll reach the coveted milestone of 666,666 subscribers. Anyways, that video did horribly. It seems like my audience really doesn't care about 3 YouTubers who may have died. Seems like they're all just a bunch of really evil people. When you go through this thing, there's like nothing to really connect to besides the odd, hilarious poop joke here and there. But at this point, I was obsessed. To be able to truly make ultra high quality daily video essay content, I had no choice but to completely remove myself from the equation. I had to automate myself. So I uploaded the audio of one of my videos. I uploaded it into a deepfake program, which cost me $30, by the way. Not $30 forever, $30 a month. All of that for me to sound like this. Sui mama. A few hours later though, Orbot, kind of like robot, but that's my actual name by the way, was birthed into existence. The ultimate video essay making machine. No one can stop him now. I decided to plug Orbot into Grumbo for the sake of this video, just so you can hear in person how much charisma this guy has. Wait, just wait a second. Oh man, it's video recording time. I'm so happy to be recording this video with you. Wow, he sounds excited. And to top it all off, I decided to do what a lot of these content farms do and dabble in stealing. I did stealing. Now I know what you're thinking. That's mean. You shouldn't do that. But the person I stole from was myself. So I think that's okay. What I did was I took the script from my Mr. Beastification video, I fed it into ChatGPT and asked it to give me a bunch of titles. It gave me back the worst titles ever, the formulaic nature of YouTube and the need for change. I just called it the Mr. Beastification of YouTube. I'm way smarter than this robot. I took one of the titles, threw it back into the machine, and asked for it to give me a video essay script for that title, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure that that's what these channels essentially do. I think that that's how they steal stuff. And I asked for Orbot to read it out. And this is what I got. As we've seen time and time again, simply copying what works for one creator is not enough to guarantee success. So what does this mean for the future of YouTube? Is it doomed to become a homogenized landscape of copycat content, with everyone shouting in your face and trying to be the next Mr. Beast? Or is there still room for originality and creativity on the platform?
I believe that there is always room for originality and creativity on YouTube. The platform is constantly evolving and changing, and there will always be new niches and audiences to discover. But the key is to find your own voice and your own unique perspective, and to bring something fresh and exciting to the table.
So while Mr. Beast may be the king of YouTube for now, there's still plenty of room for new creators to carve out their own niches and make their mark on the platform. The key is to stay true to yourself, keep pushing boundaries, and never stop experimenting and innovating. Who knows, the next big YouTube sensation might just be around the corner. As I finished watching this video, something happened that I didn't really expect. I felt something. It wasn't because of the words that these robots are saying. It definitely wasn't the grating, monotone voice from little Orbot, but something else. It was the music that was made by a person that sounded so beautiful, contrasted against this machine thing. It felt off and unsettling, but in a really interesting way. And it was my brother's editing choices, the footage that he used of evolution and chaos and destruction. He gave it this apocalyptic sort of feeling. The fact that he chose this sort of somber tone as I'm listening to me, my own voice taken away from me, talking about the importance of creativity and authenticity of all things. He only learned how to edit a week ago for these videos, and yet maybe intentionally, maybe not, but his choices made me feel something in a video that I was, if I'm being honest, fully prepared to make fun of for this section of this video. When someone asked Crubblecop about the importance of authenticity within this AI revolution that he's talking about, he said that that thing can be reproduced by AI in the near future. In his eyes, personality and human experience don't really have a lot of worth within creations. He believes that the feeling that someone gave a shit about what you're making is something that could be manufactured. I'd be lying if I said that I'm not, at the very least, a little bit scared about the future of art. I don't know if I'm in the position of like a caveman seeing fire for the first time, but it is weird for me to see the countless amounts of people on Twitter that are reveling in the idea that maybe soon all of these writers that are on strike could be replaced by a cold-hearted machine. For them, the idea of consuming this cold, nothing blob of content, something that can't experiment or try something new because it doesn't have the vision to, is something to celebrate. To be clear, I don't think that being a YouTuber is a job that is necessarily too comparable to the one of a screenwriter. I don't think that all or even most of YouTube needs to be this sort of like high art or whatever. It can just be something that's fun for someone to watch. But I do believe, I feel like I have to believe that the fact that a human made these things matters. You know, the personality, the jokes, even the fuck-ups. I have to believe that these things that a machine can't replicate, the human experience, the creativity, the ability to make something that I haven't seen before, I have to believe that that matters, because if I don't, what's the point of making things at all? I don't want to spoil anything, but I am going to be posting more weird videos on the Evil Pinely channel for another week or so, which is going to lead us to the third and last part of this series that I'm doing about content farms, so feel free to check that out if you want to. After that, it's just going to turn into a normal second channel. Maybe subscribe, I guess. Also, I'm thinking about potentially starting a channel where I talk about movies, so let me know if that's something that you're interested in. I love talking about movies. I have a Patreon you can check out and social medias you can follow. Besides that, from various corners of my room, I appreciate you watching another episode of The Pinely Show.